And the goodness of God, he is still working with me. He comes next to me while I'm face down in the toilet, Kellie. And I feel the presence of the Holy Spirit come to the left side of me. And I hear him say, not audibly, but can you imagine the Lord willing to speak to a girl who's so hungover, I couldn't even think straight. He comes right here next to me on my left side, and he says, are you ready to be done? Mm-hmm. And he was excited. I felt this anticipation for the Jenny that would do greater things than this. And it was the first time that I felt, wait a minute, maybe there's a life that I could live that would matter, that would have impact. And it was like, he was so excited. Are you done yet? Because when you are, I have some amazing things to do with you. Together. I got up. I was newly married, so this was still into my young married life. I went out to the living room. We lived with some friends at the time. I was the one that got everybody to go to the bars. That was me, that was my job. I've always been a gatherer, is what I still do now. But I was the one, and I just said, I went to the living room, I told my husband, I told the couple that we were living with, I said, I'm done. Mm-hmm. I'm done. And the other couple laughed, done with what? I don't need alcohol anymore. I'm done, I'm ready to move on. And they laughed. Like, Jenny, really? You're the one telling us, no, nobody can go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, we're going out, you know? And I was done.
Wow.
And, you know, I'll be 50 this year, so how many ever years ago that was, that's been over 25 years ago. And this isn't about me being a good girl and not drinking. This was about, okay, and I think people go through this where we're just trying to like cope, right? Like I'm just trying to get through a day with Jesus. But that day, it was like, Jenny, there is a kingdom plan for your life. And I know it's hard for you to believe because what sin does is it files us down. And my self-esteem was so little. I didn't have self-esteem. I didn't think anything God could do through me except for maybe just get me through a day without drinking and swearing. You know, I had such low standards for my life. But in that moment when the Holy Spirit said, I have something for you, it was like I had this future.
Something was born.
Something
came alive
while I was over the toilet.
Over the toilet.
Only the Holy Spirit can put up with that.
That's so biblical, though, because that's what described about the prodigal son. It said, here he is eating the pig food, which there couldn't really be anything worse, I guess, for a young Jewish boy, right? Yeah. Eating the pig food. But it says he came to himself.
That's what happened.
And you're like, wait, what am I doing? And it's the love of the Lord. It's the love of God. It's the plan of God meeting you in that weakened place. We run so hard from the pain. We run hard from being not strong.
Yeah, because the shame of who we might find when we're there, which is ourselves. I was so afraid of finding failure in me. And there was a lot of failure. I was so afraid of who I might find. Oh, she is bitter. Oh, she is, you know, acting like a victim or whatever. And when I stopped running from the pain, when I stopped numbing the pain, when I said, Jesus, you are my everything.
Everything.
For reals. Not in a religious way. For reals. I was liberated. And all of a sudden, here comes this invitation. Okay, Jenny, this is what we're gonna do. And then he walked me through. So what I do today in ministry and what I'm doing in the world, you have to understand, I never saw in my bondage what God actually wanted to do with my life until I trusted him. And one thing I want to say is, don't hear me wrong on the alcohol thing. Some people pick up on the alcohol and go, oh, so this is about not drinking. See, they want to make it about rules. It's not about that. For me, it represented bondage and numbing. But I really just want to put this out there. And the Holy Spirit told me this a couple of weeks ago. He said, if we want to define idols, an idol is anything you rely on to make you happy. So that's what God worked on for many years, and he's still doing it. Like, Jenny, your children, what are you relying on them to make you happy?
Are they first?
Yeah.
Or am I first?
Yes. And so this process of removing idols and surrendering those things so that he can be our all. But that's really how our ministry started, was when I got liberated, there was no way I could be with somebody in any sort of close relationship and not say, but wait a minute, there's freedom for you. You can be liberated in that.